Calling Committee of the Whole meeting of June 23rd, 2026 to order with the roll call.
President Jordan?
Here.
Justice? Here. Nelson?
Here.
Robinson? Here. Shaw? Here. Silver? Here. Ursu?
Here.
Motion to approve the minutes of the Committee of the Whole meeting from June 9th, 2026. So move.
Second. Jordan?
Yes.
Justice?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Shaw? Yes. Silver?
Yes.
Ursu?
Yes.
We're going to be having a swearing-in ceremony. I'm waiting for everyone to come. So we're going to continue with the meeting, and as people arrive, we will have the swearing in. So currently, we have no unfinished business. We'll move to new business.
Resolution number 59, 2026, introduced by mayor and all of council. First reading, a resolution authorizing the mayor to submit an application from the city of Richmond Heights for a project to be considered by the Cuyahoga County Department of Development for its Community Development Supplemental Grant Program for fiscal year 2027.
We have Rachel here. Rachel?
Council, good evening. Council President, Mayor, members of the community. We're submitting this year, it's our annual CDSG grant. It's $50,000. It can be used throughout the city. There was a public hearing held, I believe, on June 10th. Our project will consist of Greenwood Farms and creating a nature-style playground for that fund, if awarded. The funds will come out of account number 401-71500, 54300, and that would be 2027.
Good. Okay.
And that's it.
Is there any discussion? What type of time frame we looking for this grant? I mean,
So the application is due July 13th. The funds wouldn't be expended until 2027. It's for the 2027 fiscal year.
okay. Is there any discussion? I don't see any reason to hold this at first reading. I'm gonna recommend the council.
Second. Jordan?
Yes.
Justice?
Yes. Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Silver? Yes. Ursu?
Yes.
Resolution number 60, 2026, introduced by mayor and all of council. First reading, a resolution authorizing the mayor to submit an application from the city of Richmond Heights for a project to be considered by the Cuyahoga County Department of Development for its Community Development Block Grant Program for fiscal year 2027.
Rachel, you're up again.
Council, mayor, members of the community. This grant is, once again, we usually apply for this. This is through the Cuyahoga Department of Economic Development, Community Development. It is a HUD-run grant program that can only be used in an LMI track, which is a low mod track, and we have one over at the community park. We also had a public hearing the same day, June 10th, as the supplemental grant, and we would like to apply for, the funds would be used for, at the community center, to renovate the north side parking lot and construct a new access driveway into that back lot. Right now, as it stands, the lower level of the lodge, nobody can park back there. Our fire trucks can't get back there to swing in, so we want to restructure the parking lot that's already there and include an access driveway off of the main lot in the front of the building. So it'll just kind of loop around the side.
So would it go around the deck area?
It would, but it's gonna be spaced over. There's already a pathway there. It's gonna
Okay.
be moved over, and it's gonna be significantly wider with the two-lane striping, so for access in and out off of that main parking lot.
Okay.
We had a quick render of it, but I don't have my phone. I left it at home, so I'm sorry. I can't, and I wasn't going back upstairs to get it, so.
Mr. President?
Yes, Councilman.
So, could you maybe characterize how it's a drive, right?
It is.
Yeah, so if you're facing the front entrance, it's going to be off to the left?
It's going, correct. So if you're facing the front entrance, you're kind of like parallel or right in front of the building. In that parking lot, maybe 4 or 5 spaces over, there's a big column of trees, 2-row trees, and we were thinking about just putting an asphalt pathway back there. As it stands, that parking lot you can only access from the apartment building side, which can cause some problems. And access back there prohibits, or without the access back there, prohibits anybody who has any type of disability to access the ramp to the lower level. And so that was a problem that we've been trying to address for a while. And these funds hopefully could help us out.
Sounds great.
I
Thank
had
you.
a question. Did you say what the amount was? this one?
Right now, the grant amount is $150,000. Our quote came in at just a little bit more, but Cameron said that we could use some of his budget from next year as well. All of these funds will be used in 2027 as reimbursables. And the same account number that I gave you before for the CDSG grant, we'll be using the same account number for this CDBG grant if it's awarded.
Okay. You got anything to add to that, Mayor, or anything?
No, I don't. Councilwoman, every year we actually apply for the 2 grants, and we have received them each year. So.
Okay, good. Is there any other discussion? I recommend the council.
Second.
Jordan?
Yes.
Justice? Yes. Nelson?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Silver?
Yes.
Ursu?
Yes.
Resolution number 61, 2026, introduced by Mayor Thomas. First reading, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a purchase agreement with Liberty Ford for the purchase of one 2026 Ford Explorer SUV and one 2026 Ford Maverick pickup truck at a cost lower than the Ohio Department of Administrative Services Cooperative Purchasing Program bid pricing for use by the building department, and authorizing the simultaneous trade-in of department vehicles unneeded for public use.
I'm going to Chief, I'll pass the chief.
Actually, I'm going to work with. On this, actually. We're going to tag team. The one vehicle, the Ford Explorer, that vehicle would be earmarked for Mayor Thomas. Currently, Mayor Thomas is in a 2025 Ford Escape, which is an SUV. That vehicle would be staying in the fleet. It would actually be repurposed. The trade-in on that Ford Explorer is a 2018 Ford Escape with 68,000 miles on it. It's currently assigned to our community paramedic. The trade-in value on that is $6,500. So the Ford Escape that the mayor is currently in would go to the community paramedic. Why it's timely is because the 2018 Ford Escape has now experienced significant internal malfunctions. We found antifreeze in the engine oil. It's been to the service department multiple times, and that's a condition commonly associated with a major engine failure. Early evaluations suggest that repairs may be cost prohibitive and continued operation risks further damage and potential safety concerns for the staff and public that operate it. So the vehicle that the mayor is currently in would be reassigned over to the Division of Fire for the community paramedic, and then the mayor would be obtaining a Ford Explorer similar to what Chief Williams, myself, and the police department drive, but it'll be below state purchasing contract prices through Liberty Ford. I believe when I look at the legislation after trade, it's about $43,000.
Yeah, $42,998. That will be coming out of fund item number 401-7150-54650.
So that's the one vehicle, the Explorer. Now we have a Ford Maverick in there as well.
And the Ford Maverick, we'll turn over to Rudy. That is also a budget item. That is coming out of the building department's budget, out of account number 100-4400-54100 in the amount of $27,580. And Rudy, you want to take it over from there?
Thank you. To the council, we currently have a Ford Fusion. It becomes challenging in the wintertime here with just the two-wheel, front-wheel drive. And my inspector, Peter Luna, is out daily. When in wintertime, if he's out daily, it'll be a challenge because I drove it myself the first year. There were some challenges. Also, it gives us an opportunity to catch a great trade-in value at this particular point with the vehicle to move forward.
Discussion. Any discussion? Okay. Recommend council?
Second.
Jordan?
Yes.
Justice?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Shaw? Silver?
Yes.
Ursu?
Yes.
Resolution number 62, 2026, excuse me, introduced by Mayor Thomas, first reading, a resolution authorizing the sale of a 2015 Ford F-150 pickup truck through an internet auction by govdeals.com.
I'm going to pass it over to Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor. So this vehicle was handed over to the police department a while back. They deemed it not to be suitable for their fleet. It was turned over to the service department. And further investigation, this vehicle, we'll be putting more money into what it's worth. It is a 2015 F-150, has 185,000 miles on it, and currently it has some major issues. We would have to put in about $8,000 to $10,000 in it to make it roadworthy. In my opinion, it's not worth putting the money into a 11-year-old vehicle at this point. So we're asking to go ahead and sell it on Gov Deals, get that money back, and put it in the general fund.
Discussion. Recommend the council.
Second.
Jordan?
Yes.
Justice? Nelson?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Shaw? Silver?
Yes.
Ursu?
Yes.
Resolution number 63, 2026, introduced by Shaw, first reading, a resolution adopting the alternative tax budget information of the City of Richmond Heights, Ohio for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2027, submitting the same to the Budget Commission of Cuyahoga County and declaring an emergency.
I think that would be me.
Yeah.
So, as I reported out earlier, this is a housekeeping item. We will need to have this, of course, passed by the July 1st meeting, so we are asking to hold it at first reading, just to give Council President those numbers for the repayment. It looks like we'll be paying back roughly monthly $9,167
Okay.
for an annual payment of $110,000. And that is, again, over that 20-year time frame.
Okay. Are there any other discussion questions or anything?
I got a question.
Yes, Councilwoman.
So you said this $9,167 per month for 20 years.
Yes.
Is there ever opportunity for something like that to be paid back sooner?
It is, but it's an interest-free loan, so why not ride it out? Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't hurt us to not pay it back early.
Any other discussion questions? Okay. Thank you, Director, for that information. I recommend council.
Second.
Jordan?
Yes.
Justice?
Yes.
Nelson? Yes. Robinson?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Silver?
Yes.
Ursu?
Excuse me, isn't this one, did you say we needed to hold this for?
First reading.
For later on?
We got to hold this?
Yes, it needs to be.
But it still needs to go to council.
Only on first reading to. Yes, because the attachment needs to be updated to include the grant
Oh, that
and
information.
the interest-free
Okay.
loan.
Okay.
Which those funds are due to be appropriated on June 30th. So it falls right in line with the July 1st date.
Okay. So we hold this first read. Thank you, Councilman Castellano.
Mr. President.
So before we adjourn this meeting, we do have, and if, after we do this swearing in, I have you guys come up and, the mayor, you want to? I have no idea what they want to talk about.
Right address? Richmond Road. Is that the Hindu temple?
Is he one of the new officers? No, he's not. He's that's
I think he sent us wrong.
that's the new guy. Guess so. Kathy.
Hold it for 3 seconds, there you go.
All right, good evening, Council President, Mayor Thomas, members of council. I want to thank you for indulging us for a little bit for something very important to the Richmond Heights Police Department. Tonight, we are going to swear in a new supervisor for the ranks of the Richmond Heights Police Department. Officer Kevin Watts will be sworn in as a police sergeant for the Richmond Heights Police Department. We've had this opening for about a year or so. Officer Watts and 5 other officers went through the testing process, the evaluation process, interviewed with Mayor Thomas, and Officer Watts was selected as the candidate to fill the spot. A very important spot. Frontline supervision, as many of you should know, but if you don't know, is very important for law enforcement and public safety in general. And those are the folks that really make the hard decisions day in and day out there on the road with our men and women in law enforcement. So it's a very challenging position, it's a very demanding position, and a very important position. And I have no doubt that Kevin will fulfill the functions of a police sergeant for the city of Richmond Heights. So without further ado, Mayor Thomas, if you want to come up. Kevin, you want to come up front? The mayor is going to administer the oath of office. We're going to stand right here in the middle. Mayor, you want to do it from here? In the middle.
In the middle. Okay. You're going to repeat after me and state your name, raise your hand. I, Kevin.
I, Kevin Watts,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
the Charter of the City of Richmond Heights,
Charter of the City of Richmond Heights,
and all laws of said city,
and all laws of said city,
and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
and I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of full-time police sergeant
of full-time police sergeant
of the City of Richmond Heights,
of the City of Richmond Heights,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
during my continuance
during my
in
continuance
said
in said office,
as I shall also answer to God.
as I shall answer God.
Amen.
Now Kevin is going to sign his oath of offices, and LT, do you have his badge? I assume Mrs. Watts is going to pin Kevin with his sergeant's badge, and then we're going to take some pictures. All right. Let's make it official. And certified first aid right behind you. Newman. Our resident photographer. And then I'll come here. And then if we can get first the Richmond Heights Police family up here with Kevin, and then we'll get family and friends and everybody else, and we'll get a ton of pictures. Shauna?
I want to get out before the street lights come
All
on.
right, you gotta squeeze in like we love it today. All right, Kevin family. Your call. Where you wanted to go. Wife and kids first, or family, mom, dad?
That's right.
Kevin, I'll send you all these too.
Plenty of film.
Anybody else, Kevin? Wife by yourself, or you with family? Girls? Anybody else, Kevin?
I wasn't ready. Well, I just want to thank everyone for coming tonight, and thank you for extending the meeting a little bit for me. I just want to thank everyone for the opportunity to serve the city. I'm very grateful. City's been good to me over the last decade. I also want to thank God. Without him, none of this is possible. So I want to thank my family too. They've been my rock and my support staff, my support system. So, and my fellow officers too. Those guys are awesome. We got a good department. So residents are pretty lucky. We got good police officers. So, and I'll be happy to lead a shift and definitely do my best to make the city just a little bit safer. So, thank you all.
All right, folks, thank you for coming. If you want to stay for the rest of the meeting, you're more than welcome, but Kevin just got a pay raise, so we can get right.
We're coming too. He said drinks on him. That's a germ. Right, he can germ. Let's go. Get some drinks.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council President.
No problem. Are there any comments from the community at this time?
Thank you again for allowing us to speak. I mentioned to you my name is Michael Diamond, and I own a. Is it?
Yeah, it's on.
It's on. Okay. So basically, we bought a house about 6 months ago on Richmond Road, 158 Richmond Road, and the lady didn't want to leave the house because it was such a beautiful location. So she wanted to sell it to somebody I know, and she sold it to me. I didn't know what to do with it, of course, because I live in Heights, and that's where my community is really. So I came to the house, I looked how beautiful it is. So we will spend a few weekends over there, and we really enjoyed it, away from the city hustles and noises. So I thought to my son that maybe such a good location might be a good idea for a short-term rental. And I do know that the city does not allow it. So I know you don't allow it, but give us a few minutes, maybe hear us, maybe you might change your visit. So I'm going to let my son talk about it.
So my name is Barry Diamond. Good evening, councilmen and women. Thank you for hearing us out. I'm a dentist in Beechwood. The reason why I thought of Airbnb is because when I was in Maryland in dental school, I grew up here, but when I was in Maryland dental school, that's how I paid for babysitting for my kids. I got 5 daughters, and it helped out a lot. We had an Airbnb in our house. At first, I was very nervous. I'm like, random people coming to the house, into the basement, but it turned out really good, and I learned how to vet people out. About a year ago, my father and I started an Airbnb in South Euclid, and a week or two later, the city shut down Airbnbs. So we went in and we spoke to them, and they really liked what they heard, and they decided to allow it in the whole city, but with regulations. So, number one, the reason why most cities, I'm assuming why you guys are nervous about it, is because of parties and you know, issues with neighbors and all. But I came up with a system. My system is that regulations. First of all, when people book, they have to book for at least 2 nights. Most parties come when they come at 1 night. The reason why Airbnb is good is because it brings a lot of attraction to the city. That's number one. People spend money in gas stations, in the stores, attraction centers, and it's a great value for cities. We give them, I brought some guidebooks that we have in South Euclid, and these are basically some attraction sites. We give them a guidebook of the area, restaurants and all, and it really helps out. Right away, when a guest books, they get an automatic message saying thank you for coming, thank you for choosing us, and it puts out the rules right away, and you'll see that on about 5th or 6th page. They tell them no parties allowed, no smoking allowed. We actually have cameras outside the home, which Airbnb allows, and we mention in our listing to make sure there's no parties, because people, you know, at times want to make parties, and we shut that out, even birthdays. We also have devices that go inside the house that listen to the sound, and that's also allowed on Airbnb and according to law, and it hears a decibel of sound. If it's too loud, we know there's a lot of people in there, and we reach out to them. We can't hear the conversation, but it notifies us. And we reach out to them and ask them what's going on, and if they're having a party, they're out of the house right away. So some things the city could also gain from, obviously, yearly, permits, costs, and a lot of short-term rentals. Also, the city basically could regulate and charge taxes for every single guest that books, and depending on how much their people are paying. We make sure with South Euclid that we have local contact available 24/7, so if there's ever an issue, they can reach out to us. And, you know, whenever I go on vacation with my wife and daughters, hotels don't work. You can't have a 2-year-old running up and down the hallways. It doesn't work. People get upset. Airbnbs make a huge difference for families to come visit. Whether you're going to visit, when we go to Florida, we go and visit my sister and brother, we stay at an Airbnb. We can't stay in a hotel. There's no way we could do it without the Airbnb. Their space doesn't have enough room for us. So to me, Airbnb is very dear, and I think it would be a great resource and attraction for your city.
All businesses have ups and downs, but you cannot just shut them down completely, because otherwise there wouldn't be any business around. You have to help them out, make regulations, make it safe, and this way it's good for the community, I think. They use the the benefit from this is that this house is very close to I-90. So people going through I-90, they could have a place to stay overnight, and they might use the restaurants close by. And it introduces the city to the other communities also. It's like more like not just the Airbnb for them to stay. When people come to such a beautiful city and see it, they never know if people might move here long term. So.
You won't believe it, but I recently heard a story from my younger brother. I wasn't planning on saying this yesterday, and he has an Airbnb. He's in dental school too in Maryland, and he made an Airbnb in his own home. He met somebody over the weekend. He just started talking to him, and the person told him he looked familiar. And he found out that that person had stayed in his Airbnb a year before that and had such a good experience that he moved from Washington, D.C. out to Baltimore. So it really does, I think, attract people long-term at times as well to the city.
Thank you so much for considering this.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Is there any other community members that'd like to speak?
I'd like to speak on this if possible. I was just wondering, are we speaking on this?
Legislate their administration, yeah.
I think the later one, you want to speak?
Could you hold that button by the microphone for 3 seconds? Now release it. Now release it. Okay.
Good evening, council, mayor, community members. Just would like to.
Name and address, please.
James and Janet Flowers, 443 Audrey. We just moved not quite a year ago, and we like the community. We plan to attend the meetings and be a part of the community as we were in Oakwood Village. So it took us a while because we're still trying to get comfortable, but you'll see us around. James and Janet Flowers.
All right, nice to meet you guys.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. And with that, this meeting is adjourned. We're going to go over. Ready? We're going to start our city council meeting. Calling a city council meeting of June 23rd, 2026 to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
President Jordan?
Here.
Justice?
Here.
Nelson?
Here.
Robinson?
Here.
Shaw? Here. Silver?
Here.
Ursu?
Here. Motion to approve the minutes of the city council meeting from June 9th, 2026. So move.
Jordan?
Yes.
Justice?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Silver?
Yes.
Ursu?
Yes.
We'll move to reports. Mayor Kim Thomas.
Council President, I actually passed my report to our council clerk along with the rest of my staff's reports.
All right. Mayor Kim Thomas's report is as follows. Several mayors participated in a discussion focused on state legislative issues, data center development, property tax reform, voter identification requirements, and state capital budget funding that could impact municipalities across Ohio. A significant portion of the discussion focused on the rapid growth of data centers across Ohio and the challenges of regulating them. Key points included Ohio currently has more than 200 data centers operating across the state. Many communities are considering local regulations or restrictions on future data center development. The Ohio General Assembly is exploring statewide standards to create a more consistent regulatory framework. Discussion also focused on the proposed ballot initiative to eliminate property taxes. Key updates included: organizers have suspended efforts to place the initiative on the ballot this year. Signature collection efforts will continue for a future ballot initiative. Signatures already collected remain valid. Municipal leaders continue to express concerns regarding the significant impact eliminating property taxes could have on local government, schools, and public services. Several property tax reform measures have already been enacted by the state legislature in response to rising property tax concerns. That discussion focused on monitoring the impact of recently enacted reforms, the possibility of additional legislation during the upcoming lame duck session, continued efforts by state leaders to address taxpayer concerns while maintaining funding for local services. Members also reviewed a proposed constitutional amendment that will appear in the November ballot. The amendment would place voter identification requirements directly into the state constitution, require ID for in-person voting, continue identification requirements for absentee and mail-in voting, make future changes to voter ID requirements more difficult by establishing them as constitutional provisions rather than statutory law. The group also discussed the recently approved state capital budget. Key observations included: this funding cycle focused primarily on smaller community projects. Several projects listed in the capital budget were reappropriations of funds approved in previous years but not yet spent. None of the Richmond Heights submitted projects were approved during this funding cycle. The city plans to resubmit eligible projects during the next funding round and has also submitted applications for federal funding opportunities. The city received a $250,000 award for next year's White Road Improvement Project, which will support continued infrastructure investment in the community. Tim Cosgrove, legal counsel and lobbyist for the Cuyahoga County Mayors and Managers Association, encouraged local leaders to continue closely monitoring developments related to data center regulation, property tax reform, voter ID requirements, and state budget appropriations. Each of these issues has the potential to significantly impact municipalities throughout Ohio, and they may shape legislative priorities during the upcoming lame duck session. Thank you. That concludes the mayor's report.
Thank you, Mayor. And Tracy. We'll go to our Fire Chief, Mark Newman.
Thank you, Council President Jordan, Mayor Thomas, members of council, and members of the community. I know the 4th of July is coming up around the corner real soon, and with the 4th of July holiday around the corner, all residents must know that it is illegal to discharge fireworks in the city of Richmond Heights. The city does not support the discharge of consumer fireworks and deems the activity a safety and fire hazard. Residents witnessing the discharge of fireworks are encouraged to contact our Richmond Heights Police Department, and this is per Richmond Heights Ordinance 1519.07. So now I can talk about outreach. We have a lot of outreach going on in Division of Fire right now. 2 programs, our Community Blood Drive. Our next Community Blood Drive is scheduled Wednesday, July 1st from 12 to 4 p.m. at the Richmond Heights Community Center. For more information or to make an appointment to donate, contact Community Paramedic Nicole Savizrel, 216-383-6323, or by email, and this information is also on our website. We also have a Heart Saver CPR training course coming up. Our next CPR course will be held on Thursday, August 27th from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Richmond Heights Fire Station. The Division of Fire offers bi-monthly CPR courses to residents of Richmond Heights for free. These, anybody that's interested can contact our community paramedic, Nicole Savizrol, at 216-383-6323. Also, there's a community health fair coming up, and the Sri Hindu Temple, which is located at 575 Richmond Road, will host a community health fair from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on June 27th and 28th. That's this weekend. The event is open to all families and will feature over 50 medical professionals who will provide screenings, wellness education, and community health resources. Attendance is expected to be steady throughout both days, with participants coming from Richmond Heights and surrounding communities. The Division of Fire will have a supportive presence throughout the event. Fire apparatus will be staged for public engagement and rapid response capability. Fire prevention personnel will be present to support life safety oversight and community education, and our community paramedic will participate, offering health outreach, blood pressure checks, and resource navigations for our residents. This event is expected to have a positive impact on the community by expanding access to health services. It's a great program. There are flyers. I saw them on the post on the e-newsletter as well. So please, it looks like it's going to be a great event. That concludes my report. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Chief. I appreciate it. We have next is our Police Chief Calvin Williams.
Thank you, Council President, Mayor Thomas, members of council, members of our community. I'm going to try to be brief. Over the last 2.5 weeks, the Richmond Heights Police Department has responded to 748 calls for service, which include 38 traffic citations being given, 2 arrests for OVI, excuse me, 52 incident reports, 12 arrests during those 748 calls for service, and they handled 3 accidents. Openings, we currently have 4 openings within the Richmond Heights Police Department, but the good news is we have 5 candidates in the process of being evaluated, reviewed, and tested for those 4 openings. So hopefully we will be able to at least fill 3 of those openings here in 2026, and maybe that 4th opening sometime next year. 2 of the candidates that are in process already have their OPATA certification, meaning they've been to a police academy, passed their written test, and are certified by the state of Ohio to become police officers. They just need to find a job. And we're hoping that at least half of these candidates work out for us and become Richmond Heights police officers. We currently have 6 openings in our auxiliary police force, and you guys probably saw one of our police auxiliary sergeants here with our full-time officers. We currently have 3 candidates in process for those 6 openings. I don't think since I've been here we've ever really had our 20 police auxiliary candidates, but to get close to that 20 number will be great, especially with our busy summer season. So we still have openings for police auxiliaries. If you know somebody that wants to apply, definitely tell them to call our HR department or go online to the city's website and look on the HR tab. We are currently reviewing traffic patterns, traffic issues and concerns within the city of Richmond Heights. It is our plan to come up with a comprehensive plan to address a lot of the things that are happening in the city related to traffic, whether it be speeding, parking, the construction things that are going on, you name it. We're taking an overall comprehensive look, and we're going to develop a plan that hopefully will address most of the issues that we get complaints about in the city. And we don't get a ton of complaints, but we definitely want to address any complaints that we have. So we're taking a look at that over the next month and a half. Chief Newman talked about the 4th of July. It kind of kicks off our busy part of the summer. Although, we've had Memorial Day going on, which is busy for us. But I also have to caution folks, fireworks are illegal in the city. Please be good neighbors. Please don't have us have to come out and spoil the party because people decided to violate our local ordinances here. Don't shoot off fireworks. They're dangerous. People get injured. Structures and homes and things like that catch on fire, and then the chief has to send his folks out. So please obey the city ordinance as it relates to fireworks. And with the busy summer season, please slow down. Have folks slow down. There are a lot more people out on our roadways. There are a lot more people biking, a lot more kids biking, a lot more people walking their dogs during the summer season. And we are busy in this city with construction projects, be it on the street or on private lots, but there's a lot going on, so people have to slow down and have to pay attention. And last, but certainly not least, the 3rd annual Richmond Heights Golf Classic is August 31st. It's a fundraiser for the city so that Mayor Thomas can give scholarships to our deserving high school seniors as they go on to college and pursue their education, to assist them. So we encourage folks, you can go on our Ticket Spice website. It's up and running. I thought we had flyers over there, but I'll make sure we have flyers. You can look on our city app, Ticket Spice, and look up how you can support this endeavor. It's great. Last year, we had 107 golfers that came out and raised money for our kids so that they can go to college and make college a little more affordable. So Richmond Heights Golf Classic, August 31st, is at Stonewater Golf Course, which is right down the road here in our neighbor in Highland Heights, and it's a good time. And with that, I'll take any questions you might have.
Yes, Councilman.
Thanks, Mr. President. Chief, so I'm intrigued by the traffic pattern study you're going to be doing. Are you going to be developing objective data from traffic counts and so forth, or how? Maybe you could elaborate a little bit more on how you're going to go about it.
Well, we are taking a close look at patterns. We're also taking a close look at the data as it comes back in. We have a service now that we kind of subscribe to that gives us speeds and things like that. It also gives us the number of vehicles that traverse our roadways, different times of the day, different days of the week. So we can take a look at that, deploy our resources a little better, especially if we have things like OVIs and a lot of traffic citations in certain areas, to make sure that our officers are paying attention to those areas. So it's a comprehensive look, Councilman, at how traffic traverses through and around the city of Richmond Heights, to make sure that we provide the best service to our residents, to make sure that, again, our folks are safe and the folks that travel through Richmond Heights are safe. So once we get to the point where we have some concrete data that we can share with folks, we will push that out. But we're really trying to look at places that we may have a little more going on than we kind of know, and see if that data shows that, and then we'll address it.
Great, sounds wonderful. Thank you.
Sure.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Chief Calvin, yes, you mentioned like 600 calls per capita, I mean, for the month of like June, I guess you said June or
No,
May.
748 for the last 2 weeks. And that includes all the things that I mentioned, like the citations, the reports. A lot of our calls come from folks that actually come to the police department that want to speak to an officer in person about an issue. It may or may not be a criminal matter. It may just be some advice they need on an issue they're having. But yeah, that's a lot of incidents that our officers are handling in a 2-week time period. And that's for the whole 2 weeks, 24 hours a day. Sure.
Thank you, Chief. You know, one thing I do want to mention, Chief, that a lot of cities are waiting for us to finish our lighting program so they can copy. So I went to a meeting, and so many cities like, what are y'all doing? When y'all going to finish it? You know, so there are eyes outside the city that are watching. That's a Rachel. Okay. Maybe you can add that in your report, Rachel. Will do. Okay, are there any other questions? Okay, thank you, Chief. We'll go to our Finance Director, Trevion Atkins.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, Mayor, Council, members of the community. Finance is working on the audit and preparing for month end. Financials will be distributed next month after closing is complete. We are actually pleased with the financials thus far in regards to expenses coming in, going into the third quarter, a little bit under 50% of our AX budget. So just to kind of put a number on that and give you an idea of what we have yet to spend, again, going into third quarter, $18,956,969 has not been encumbered. So with that being said, like previous years, of course, we're working all the projects that need to be worked, but when we can find savings and return funds back to the general fund, it is always our ultimate goal. Outside of that, I did touch base on the alternative tax budget, so I am asking that you all definitely be prepared to make sure that that is passed next council meeting, July 1st, so that we do meet our July 20th deadline. I don't have anything else outside of that. I will take any questions, comments, or concerns.
The alternative tax budget, how early will we receive that and be able to review it?
Tomorrow. Yep.
Okay, all right. So I want to make sure there's no reasons why we can't approve it.
receive it tomorrow. Todd will draft it. He already has the copy tonight. So he'll get that out for you all tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other, okay, any other questions? All right, thank you. Ryan Tiedemann.
Yeah, so we're continuing with the citywide maintenance and cleaning restrooms, trash pickup, mowing, watering flowers and hanging baskets, and landscape improvements daily. We did some maintenance on Diamond 3 at the ball fields, repaired the backstops, and some fencing around it. We finished power washing the gazebo, the pavilion, and the bleachers, and the dugouts and the restrooms at the community park. We set up and tore down for the Juneteenth celebrations. I repaired some picnic tables. We did some coal patching throughout the city. We finally finished all the water breaks. They have completely been repaired. Right now, we had the road crew on Austin Lane. They're saw cutting and tearing out and getting ready for a big concrete pour later this week. We did some repairs to the spray grounds with the chemical pumps, new hoses, making sure the water pressure is functional over there along with the chemicals. We were hauling some leaves and wood chips to Green Vision that we collected over the past fall. We've been mowing some high grass complaints and violations that are coming from the building department. Citywide chipping was done last week. And just a reminder, council and residents, that the free tree lawn tree program is still going on until August 28th of this year. If you would like to have a free tree lawn tree with no cost to the residents, please contact us at the Service Department, 216-731-7014. And that'll conclude my report.
Yes, Councilman.
With the tree program, is the resident responsible for maintaining the tree, or does the city maintains these trees?
No, so we plant them, and once we plant them, it gets turned over to the residents from there.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, sir. This time we go to Rudy Hilliard, Building Commissioner.
Good evening, Council President, Council, Mayor, citizens. We're about to round out our 6th month in the building department, and we're on track with our anticipated revenue. We're at about 60%. Some of the contributing factors that helps it reach that amount is we had a huge uptick in residential reviews, which means that residents are taking care of their homes. They're applying for permits to do improvements, decks, new roofs, driveways, things of that nature. And I think we'll come out pretty good by the end of the year. We may be above our expected revenue source. Looking at the tall weeds and grass, since March, we've had 91 complaints. We only have 37 of those that remain open. We have a lot of thanks to the service department. If the resident doesn't cut their grass, we pass it on to them and they go out and actually cut the grass. It's been a real good conjuncture in community core with them. With violations, since the first of the year, we've written over 858 violations. We have a close rate of 75%, with 651 of them being closed. So they can range from anywhere. They come in through community core, they come in through email. We try to get it turned around as quick as possible. We've had recently, with Hilltop Plaza, we had complaints about the potholes in the driveway. As soon as we got the complaint from the resident, I think it was resolved in 2 days. So we have action. We are working with individuals. Sometimes we have to turn up the heat a little bit, and I get that. So I appreciate everyone that allows their constituents to email them to give a little push to the building department. But I still encourage them to try to use the community core system, because manually I have to go in and do some of the math to add to some of those violations, and it's easy when the mayor calls me and asks me a question. I can answer it a little quicker if I can pull the data from the system, rather than go look at emails and try to figure out what's going on. It makes it a little tough. I don't discourage it, but I do encourage using the system. Bell Oaks is coming along really well. We've inspected about 90% of their framing on building 1. They're starting to frame building 2. They have the pads up for 3. They're going to be working on 6 and 7. They're kind of doing things sporadically based on the size of the buildings and the availability of their work crew. They are submitting and will submit the new entranceway that they're working on, as well as what you've heard today with the lot splits with Chick-fil-A. They've already engaged us in how do they go through the process of plan review. So that'll be coming down the pike pretty soon. With that said, if there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
Yes, Councilman.
On the app, when a resident has a complaint, is the information that's being put into the portal, is that confidential? Because I've had some residents reach out to me because they didn't want to put a complaint into the portal, being afraid that, you know, they will be put out on blast. So is that information that's in the portal confidential to you in the city, or is it public information?
It is private until a request comes in for public information. My team, some of administration have direct access to the system.
Okay.
I can't guarantee full non-disclosure with those individuals. It has been kept pretty well with those that have access to the system, because we do get an email, we do get a phone number, we do get the complainant's address. But we try to keep everything as confidential as possible, with that said.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman, we don't share unless we get a public record request.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you, sir. And Rachel, you're up.
Good evening, council, council president, mayor, law director, members of the community. Well, let's start off with the lighting report. As you know, the street lights are coming. There was a little bit of change of personnel at First Energy, which kind of lost track of our street lighting project, which we have now wrangled back in. They had to come back out and do an assessment once again to check off and modify the changes in the street lights. So we're still working on them. We're waiting on their final engineer. I believe Chief and Chelsea met with them last week sometime, 2 weeks ago. So that project is moving. I'll put that off on First Energy. Our upcoming projects at the community center in September, we'll be installing a brand new audio video system, which was grant funded through the Cuyahoga County Department of Development. Once again, $150,000 block grant. That should start in September. We blocked off a whole week. We'll be closing the community center down just to get that in. Let me see. The sidewalk program is moving along. We are inputting all of the information that we took from applications either online or over the phone, and we're inputting them into our community core. We're also finalizing and getting ready to move the request for bids out to the public, and that should be going out probably within the next 2 weeks, maybe, give or take. And that should end my report, but I am open for any questions.
Are there any questions this time? I just have one. The old sound equipment, are we gonna put that on gov deals, or what are we gonna do with that stuff?
That's a good question. I will ask the rec director what he wants to do, because there are, we're keeping the TVs in the small hall. Those will stay the same, but the audio equipment will have to come out. We're adding new TVs in the larger hall, and those TVs will come out as well as the old audio system that's in there. I would assume we could put them on govdeals.com or whatever it is. I'll talk to Cameron about that, because
Okay.
that's a good idea.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions?
Yes. The placement of this lighting, where's that today?
So these are street lights for some of the streets that don't have exterior street lights. On Audrey? I'll mark that down, that you, okay. On Audrey, it's, some of the residents really do, and some of the streets get really, really dark, so.
I think it's better that way. I think it keeps down that.
We're thinking, and I don't.
Because you have to come in with a flashlight or some lights to see anything.
And you know what, I will double check to see if Audrey was on our list. There's only like 4 or 5 streets right now that we're hitting, so. Well, I'll make a note of that.
Okay, thank you. We'll move to new business now.
Resolution number 59, 2026, introduced by Mayor and all of Council, first reading. A resolution authorizing the mayor to submit an application from the City of Richmond Heights for a project to be considered by the Cuyahoga County Department of Development for its Community Development Supplemental Grant Program for fiscal year 2027.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Gordon?
Yes.
Justice?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Silver?
Yes.
Ursu?
Yes, motion and passage.
Second.
Jordan?
Yes.
Justice? Nelson?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Silver?
Yes.
Ursu?
Yes.
Resolution number 59-2026 passes.
Resolution number 60, 2026, introduced by Mayor and all of Council, first reading. A resolution authorizing the mayor to submit an application from the City of Richmond Heights for a project to be considered by the Cuyahoga County Department of Development for its Community Development Block Grant Program for fiscal year 2027.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Gordon?
Yes.
Justice?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Silver?
Yes.
Yes, motion for passage.
Second?
Jordan?
Yes.
Justice?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Robinson? Shaw?
Yes.
Silver?
Yes.
Ursu?
Resolution number 60-2026 passes.
Resolution number 61, 2026, introduced by Mayor Thomas, first reading. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a purchase agreement with Liberty Ford for the purchase of one 2026 Ford Explorer SUV and one 2026 Ford Maverick pickup truck at a cost lower than the Ohio Department of Administrative Services Cooperative Purchasing Program bid pricing for use by the building department, and authorizing the simultaneous trade-in of department vehicles unneeded for public use.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Gordon?
Yes.
Justice? Yes. Nelson?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Silver?
Yes.
Ursu?
Yes, motion passage.
Second. Gordon?
Yes.
Justice? Yes. Nelson?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
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 Resolution number 61-2026 passes.
Resolution number 62, 2026, introduced by Mayor Thomas, first reading. A resolution authorizing the sale of a 2015 Ford F-150 pickup truck through an internet auction by govdeals.com.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Jordan?
Yes.
Justice?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Silver?
Yes.
Ursu?
Yes, motion for passage.
Second.
Jordan?
Yes.
Justice?
Yes.
Nelson? Yes. Robinson?
Yes.
Shaw? Yes. Silver?
Yes.
Ursu?
Yes.
Resolution number 62-2026 passes.
Resolution number 63, 2026, introduced by Shaw, first reading, a resolution adopting the alternative tax budget information of the City of Richmond Heights, Ohio, for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2027, submitting the same to the Budget Commission of Cuyahoga County and declaring an emergency.
We're going to hold this first reading. And with that, this meeting is adjourned.